You'd think a $1.3 million condo in White Rock would blow your mind, but most of them, they don't. Think Fairmont hotel level impressive, but once you step into the unit, it's like walking into a very expensive deja vu. Same layout, same finishes, same builder, basic everything. The only thing that changes is the view. And with that comes the price tag. Just this week, I toured 5 of the most talked about luxury condos in White Rock with clients from out of province, ready to retire in style. And what we found was kind of shocking. These weren't bargain units. We're talking 1.1 to 1.4 million dollars for 1,200 to 1,400 square feet. So yeah, we expected wow. But unless you're staring directly at the ocean, you're basically paying more to go higher in the same copy and paste unit. In this video, I'm breaking down all 5 of the buildings that we toured, what actually stood out and where they totally missed the mark, and also how they stack up. And one of them, it was so good, I literally couldn't find a single con to write down. No exaggeration, and wait until you see which building landed at the top. I bet you it's not the one that you think.
You only get one chance to buy or sell your next home. Let's get it right.
Hey, worth mentioning, my name's Darren. I'm a realtor based right here in the White Rock and South Surrey area. And I've been helping families just like yours, hundreds and hundreds of families, buy and sell in the area, make the right decisions, and find the perfect home for themselves, many of which who we've met right here on this very YouTube channel. If you're thinking about relocating the area or even just getting to know this gorgeous community a little bit better, book a time to speak with me and my team in the description below this video, and we'll make sure that you get set off on the proper direction in whatever your journey it might be. We kicked the tour off optimistic. These clients had flown in from the East Coast, ready to trade snow for ocean air and downsize into something special. Now, not flashy, not pretentious, just tasteful, warm, and a little exceptional. And that shouldn't be too much to ask. And honestly, White Rock, it should be perfect for that. There's tons of new concrete towers, premium pricing, and a long-standing reputation for luxury. We lined up 5 of the most talked about buildings in town. Royce, the Beverly, Monaco, Semiahmoo, and Foster Martin. These are all buildings that show up in luxury mailers and dinner party gossip. The ones described with words like elevated living and resort style amenities. But here's the thing. It didn't take long to realize a lot of these buildings are selling the idea of luxury, but not the real thing. They've got stunning lobbies, concierge desks, fireplace walls. We'd walk in or we'd walk into the building and think, okay, this could be it. But then we'd get into the unit and it was deja vu all over again. Same 12 to 1,400 square foot print, same layout, same weird design choices. And unless you're buying a full ocean view, you're paying more for the same thing, just 12 floors higher. At one point, my client literally asked, did we already see this one? And I had to check my notes just to make sure that we weren't looping back to one we'd already seen. But not all hope was lost. A few buildings really did deliver. Thoughtful design, real detail, and one of them I couldn't even fill out a con column for. So with that said, let's get into them right now. And the first stop is actually right here at Semiahmoo over at 1439 George Street. Now, this one's been getting a lot of buzz. Modern concrete construction, sleek branding, and a price tag to match. We toured a unit listed around 1.3 million for about 1,300 square feet. So right away, expectations are high. To be fair, the location is a win. You're right in the heart of White Rock near Johnson Road. You're walkable to coffee, shopping, groceries. Everything's within a block or two. The bathrooms were also a highlight. Nice size, clean finishes, freestanding soaking tub. The kind of touch that actually does feel luxurious. But from there, things got a little more average. The kitchen had a wolf cooktop, which sounds impressive, but the cabinetry, it just didn't back it up. Nothing bad, it just didn't make it feel like it was a $1.3 million kitchen. The layout was the bigger issue too. It felt kind of squished, kind of forced, like the space was designed to check boxes instead of actually flow. And yeah, the views, they're hit and miss. Unless you're shelling out for a true ocean-facing unit, you're not getting that wow moment when you walk in. One of my clients turned to me and said, it feels like a condo. And that really stuck with me because it did. At this price point, you want something that rises above that. Semia had some great elements, but as a full package, it just didn't get there. So next on our list was Monaco, and we literally just walked to Monaco from Semia because it's just half a block up from Johnson, just right near here. Right away, this building felt a little more elevated. From the finishings to the ceiling height, it had those subtle design touches that do make a difference. The location, it's just as walkable, steps from everything central in White Rock. Same core, same convenience. But the bathrooms here, definitely a standout. Not just the same white on white you see absolutely everywhere. They used what looked like real marble, darker tones, and a little character. It actually felt designed. The ceiling height was another surprise, tall enough to make the space even more open when the layout was a little bit tight. And the finishings overall, they were beautiful. Even the details, the trim, the lighting, the materials, they felt more curated than most of the newer builds. They've also got a rooftop community space with fire pits, a putting green, and a garden, and a reasonable gym, not over the top, but usable. But here's where things started to slip. The kitchen, again, felt underwhelming. Clean and functional. It had like a wine fridge that was included, but still very basic in layout and feel. And the floor plan, it had square footage, but it felt like a bowling alley, long, narrow, and very intuitive. The bedrooms were tight. There was a sliding glass door that opened into the so-called office or dining area, but it felt like leftover space that the architect didn't know what to do with. And here's the part that stings for a lot of buyers. GST is still applicable on most units that are available now. It's a brand new building. So whatever price you might be seeing on the listing, even if it's a resale unit that has never been occupied, you might be adding on another 5% on top. For what you're getting here, the extra tax on that math just makes it harder to justify. Monaco has some beautiful elements. It felt like someone tried to make it different, but at the end of the day, still felt like a condo. So we moved on to the next one, Foster Martin. Okay, so you've probably heard of Foster Martin. It's been all over the media. And to be fair, it's one of the most striking buildings in White Rock. That wave-like exterior, you can't miss it. It's dramatic, it's iconic, and it absolutely stands out on the skyline. Going into this one, expectations were high. Some of it lived up to the hype, like the amenities for one. There's a massive pool, and not just a token one either. It's something that feels like you'd actually use it. The bathrooms and kitchen had a really nice touch of marble throughout. Clean lines, high-end feel, definitely more refined than most. But once again, it came down to the layout. The floor plan felt like a condensed triangle, not literally like a triangle, but almost like everything was pushed to the back, with the dining, kitchen, and the living area taking over the front of the unit at the expense of everything else. The bedrooms felt kind of small. The office space felt like an afterthought. And just like the others, it gave off that, yep, this is still a condo feeling. You could tell a lot of the design effort went into the building itself rather than how the space lives inside. And location wise, still solid, but it's a bit of a walk to the core of downtown White Rock. Not far, but just enough to feel slightly outside the buzz compared to something on Johnson, as an example. Foster Martin looks like a showstopper from the outside, and it is, but living there, for our clients, it didn't feel like the experience matched the packaging. So after, we headed over to the Royce building. Let's go take a look. So we're over here at Royce, kind of by Oxford, right on Thrift Avenue, and like the beach and White Rock Beach and the ocean is right there. Now, this one was different, not because of what's inside, but because of what's around it. The first thing you notice is the grounds, the ones I'm walking on right now. They didn't overbuild this site like so many others. There's actual breathing room, ocean views, landscaping, and massive 300 square foot patios that are plumbed for gas, covered, private, and clearly designed to live in. This is where things finally started to feel like more than just another tower. This is a low-rise wood frame, and inside, the finishing details were gorgeous, subtle but elevated. And the bathrooms had a really warm, high-end touch. EV charging, a solid gym, although tucked away in the basement, and a few shared amenities. Nothing flashy, but usable. But as we got further in, the cracks started to show, and not in the building, but just in the unit layout due to the shape of the building. It felt a little bit awkward. And the particular unit that we saw, well, it was positioned right in the elbow of the building up here, which meant some weird, awkward angles and corners that really cut into the usable space. You could see why they did it, to maximize the view of the ocean so that everybody got a peek at it, but it made for an odd layout. You could feel that frustration, like this should have been the one. The other downside, well, It's the location. The Royce is far enough west that you're kind of on the edge of everything. You can walk to some spots, but most people living here are probably using a car for most errands. The Royce, it had a lot going for it, especially that outdoor space. I mean, look at this, it's gorgeous. But the unit layout we toured just didn't match the feeling we got from the building itself. So we went on to the last place on our tour, which was in a building called the Beverly. So we're here on Vidal Street, walking up to the Beverly, and I'll be honest, I didn't expect this one to blow me away like everything else that we had on our list today. I didn't think it was going to blow me out of the water, but it did. It's a little bit older. It's a 2018 build, but it was absolutely worth the time. From the moment we stepped inside, it didn't feel like a condo. It's stunning. It's a concrete building, and the units actually have a foyer, which is almost unheard of these days. You walk in and it feels like a home, not a hallway. There's a full laundry room, not a closet. The windows are floor to ceiling, and the outdoor space is covered, heated, and truly usable year round. And the amenities, hands down, the best we saw. They have a concierge, the longest lap pool that I've ever seen in a residential building, and a rooftop deck that felt like a high-end resort. Massive parking stalls, EV charging, and just everything was dialed in. The finishing quality was top tier. The bathrooms were elegant. They were refined. You could tell every element was chosen on purpose, not just pulled from a standard builder's package. Even the location has this unexpected piece to it. It's a quieter street just off the core where you can actually hear things like birds and stuff chirping. And sure, more development is going to happen over time. You can see these older buildings around me. But right now, it does feel a little bit like an oasis. And here's the kicker. I couldn't find anything to critique. There was no weird layouts. There was no wasted corners, no compromises. It felt like all the others, what like they were trying to be, this one actually delivered. So after touring 5 of the most talked about buildings in all of White Rock in that 1.1 to $1.4 million range, only one of them really stood out, and not because of the view, not because of the brand name, but because it actually delivered what so many others promised, a true luxury living experience with zero compromises. If you're looking for a condo that doesn't feel like a condo, this one made it clear, and it can be done. And when you're spending that kind of money to downsize into something beautiful, you shouldn't have to settle for builder basic finishes and recycled layouts. This building right here, it raised the bar. It made all the others look like they were playing catch up. Now, in the video coming up next, we're stepping outside of towers like this. We're going to show you the kind of homes you can get in White Rock that are ultra luxury. If you're looking for a luxury condo, and the ones that we covered today, maybe you're looking to get a little bit more space, more flexibility, maybe some land, a different kind of lifestyle. If you're thinking about luxury in White Rock, you're definitely going to want to see these. Not only we're going to show you some of the most mind-blowing homes in the entire area, we're also going to let you know where the people with very, very deep pockets actually live. So if that all sounds like an interesting video, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a good one to watch, that one is coming up right now. This home behind me is worth more than most people will make in their entire lifetime. And that's because I'm standing in front of the most expensive home in all of White Rock and South Surrey.